What is up, ladies and gents? This is George Bean, and I had just seen the new Halloween film in the cinema, and it is time for me to review it. No surprise, the movie was awesome for me. I had thoroughly enjoyed it, much more than I thought I would. I will say that the film is not special at all. Nothing new, nothing game-changing. It's just very much a love letter to the original 1978 film. Plain and simple. As mentioned, the film is a direct sequel to the original film, completely disregarding all the previous sequels before it, starting with Halloween 2. It takes place 40 years after the original film, and focuses on Laurie Strode, now a drama survivor, now having a daughter and granddaughter, both of whom she has become estranged from due to her having PTSD. With Halloween approaching, serial killer Michael Myers, who has been incarcerated for 40 years, eventually escapes from custody and continues his blood-filled rampage on the small suburban town of Haddonfield, eventually coming for Laurie and her family. Plot-wise, the film is very simplistic, very much like the original film. It's like they had taken the plot of the original film and had updated it to contemporary times. At some points, the film does feel like a beat-for-beat remake, but it does still continue on from where its parent film had left off. Now, I will say, the film does not try to do anything new for the series' mythos, which is fine here. It was made specifically as an homaging love letter for the fans, by the fans. It even pays obvious homage to the opening credit sequence with a jack-o'-lantern, orange font letters and all. And no surprise, the film pays references and homages to not only the original film, but also the original sequels. Like, for example, the restroom scene is very reminiscent of a similar scene in H2O, or where Michael uses a hammer to kill a victim. It's not the first time he used a hammer as a murder weapon, as he did the exact same thing in Halloween 2. And also, they even actually featured the silver shamrock masks from Halloween 3. No joke, it's during the trick-or-treat sequence. And in a weird way, this film almost kind of reminds me of that unused Halloween Return script that I had read, which was nearly developed in 2015. Except in this case, they had retooled it to include Laurie Strode and her family into it. What I also like is how it features two new characters who are true crime journalists from the UK who have come to film a documentary about Michael and his murder spree. I do like that it shows how Michael's spree has become a sensational topic in the media and documentaries. It's something that I had always thought would be an interesting element to explore in a horror franchise, something that even the Scream movies have somewhat explored as well. While we do get a return to Woodsboro in Scream 4, I had wished we had seen how the Woodsboro town had been recovering from the killings in the first film. That's what I would like to see. A horror movie that explores the immediate aftermath of a killing spree and the town having to recover from such a horrific event like that. And to be honest, I would love to see a fake documentary discussing Michael's murder spree in the original film. It'd be so cool to watch. They could do like fake interviews with Laurie Strode, Dr. Loomis, Sheriff Brackett, the autopsy reports on the murder victims, crime scene photos, etc. But maybe that is just me. As for the cast, it was really nice to see Jamie Lee Curtis returning as Laurie Strode, the very film role that launched her film career into superstardom. I was very happy to see Curtis once again, especially after having watched her character die in Resurrection, as part of the producer's selfish interest in running the series into the ground. In this film, Laurie had spent 40 years coping with the drama by learning to be a survivalist, learning how to use firearms, arming her house with loads of floodlights, and even a safe room hidden by a moving counter in the kitchen. I do love how Laurie has been training herself to defend herself, and thus has grown to become a strong fighter, and has become more aware of her surroundings. And her survivalist training does come in handy when she eventually faces off against Michael. So yes, Jamie Lee Curtis is the best actor in the movie, and manages to steal the show from everyone. We also have Judy Greer as Karen Strode, Laurie's daughter, who has also become a mother herself. I remember first seeing Judy Greer in a few movies before, and she's been popping up everywhere, even Jurassic World, oddly enough. So it was nice to see that lately she has been having a growing prominence in movies recently, so I did not mind her in this film. And she does manage to play off against Jamie very well in their scenes together. And John Carpenter returns to write the music score with the help of his son Cody Carpenter, and as well as Daniel Davies. This is the first Halloween film Carpenter had ever scored in over 30 years since Halloween 3 in 1982. And surprisingly, the score is pretty good. It takes the original film's score and updates it, or amplify it, for the new film. It's not the same rinse and repeat that most new films would usually do. As for seeing this film in the cinema, the screening I attended, there was actually a pretty good amount of people I was with. Not too crowded, but big enough to enjoy the movie with. There were several laughs and screams throughout the film, especially from the ladies. I was sitting next to this couple seats down from me, and at one point when the character said he was going to get out of the car to investigate, I chokingly whispered out, "Don't get out!" And the couple looked at me and laughed. It was great to see that everybody knows when to say something like, "Don't get out," or "I'll be right back." And yes, this film does have a few humorous moments in it, but as a Halloween film, its humor is kept tame, so don't expect it to be like Pineapple Express, because David Gordon Green and Danny McBride do not attempt to go for that. They are making a straightforward slasher film. But with it now having been over 2 weeks since its release, the film has currently grossed more than $200 million at the worldwide box office, which makes it the highest grossing Halloween film in the franchise, and the highest grossing slasher film in unadjusted dollars, and has also broke several box office records. And so with that in mind, when a studio knows they have a hit on their hands, they are not afraid to show their cards, and will attempt to plan sequels. So with that in mind, we all know that the studios are going to want to do a sequel to this film right away. And no surprise, they said they'd do one if the film performs well, which it did. And to be honest, I am not exactly excited for a sequel just yet right now. But given how the movie had turned out, I do have sincere hopes for the sequel. If they have something worthy of exploring, then bring it on. So overall, I am happy to say that Halloween 2018 may possibly be the best Halloween film I have ever seen since the original. It is very much a film made by the fans for the fans, and I am definitely getting it on home video once it hits the store shelves. So if you do ever take the chance to see this film in cinema, I would highly recommend doing so, and bring some of your friends with you. So thanks for watching, ladies and gents. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until then, I will see you all next time. Peace!